One commercial open source software evangelist and also a full stack developer. In my previous video I explained you how to install Hive, set up upright in your computer, in the computer, and in this video we are just going to have very little discussion as how to deal with data. As I said, the Hive is just like structured query language. It has its own inbuilt query language, which is called Hive query language. It's also known as HQL, Hive query language. There is a wonderful documentation. You just don't need to learn this from anybody or from any institute. You can just there are quite a bit of information online as how to install. Even I'm doing everything as a part of my routine learning activity. In this video I'm just going to explain you how to take care of tables. Okay, Hive is meant for databases and tables. We can just create here there is a beautiful documentation. See here, DDL operations, data definition language, data manipulation language, and SQL stand for structured query language. So you have all those typical activities related to relational database management systems. Okay, now there are ways to select a group, join, and stream data, something like that. Here in the beginning of the documentation there is some certain description as how to obtain Hive and then install in your computer. See here, we did all these activities in my, I've shown you how to perform all these activities in my previous webcast. We obtained this and then we also created a temporary directory, and then a directory for warehouse, and then I showed you how to how to give the admin privileges to these two directories, something like that. And I also showed you how to initialize the schema for Hive by using schema tool db type, and we set up Derby to take care of our database activities. Derby as a backend database management system for front-end Hive. And then there is also there is another way of opening Hive using beeline shell. This uses JDBC, not Derby. It can also you can also do this by performing this executing this particular statement beeline u1. Anyway, I'm not doing this because I'll be continuing with Derby. And there is some certain documentation here as how to set properties. Okay, one time you can just in beeline, not in beeline, even in Hive you can just execute this command set. Then I think you'll get everything. This is how this is what I've shown you in my previous thing. I did some. Okay, come on thing. Okay, Hive. Then if you press set, then it will open all settings in your Hive shell. Let's see that it's taking a lot of time. I don't know, suddenly my computer became so slow. Come on. You see here it is going to the file user local Apache Hive common, Hive properties. So from here it is getting all the properties. Now if you press just set, so without, I think you don't need to, yeah, I think you have to set. You see all these settings. Oh my god, there are quite a few settings. You see all of them are settings. This is not an error message, these are settings. Now if you want to set up a particular property for, just like here, MapRed, job tracker, my host, my company, something else. Usually all this activity will be retrieved from localhost. If you have your own host somewhere publicly address, then you mention your public address by using this command set the property name and then property, something like this. Okay, and there are other things one can do. From here it is very important, DDL, because in data analytics we are more concerned with DDL, DML, SQL. These are the three important activities we'll be performing to manage database or data. So in DDL you can create data definition language. So definition by default, it means that we are going to create something. So here you see actually there are a couple of commands like as how to create a table and also two tables. One is pokes and invoices. Anyway, this is meant for you, not for me. I'm just going to do a kind of another activity. I'm going to show you how to create the tables and import data sets into the table. This is perhaps the most important command. We have to show, there is a command called show databases. Okay, now I have show tables. Let's see, I'm just trying to perform this. Show tables, it's not, nothing is compared. Show databases. Actually, the problem was here. There is when we created when we defined the schema with Adobe as a backend engine, the Hive is going to create a particular folder called metastore_db in your home. So what happens is, so there was a problem with the metastore. If you observe, I'll just quit my Hive. So okay, there is quit. Okay, you control C will get you out of this. Now ls la, you see here you got metastore. So I just deleted this and again issued the command schema tool, same thing, schema tool init schema db type .b. You have to execute once again. Then you cannot do that. Once you do, you cannot continue to do that again and again because there will be an error. So whenever you wanted to reinitialize your database, I mean set up the entire database afresh in your Hive, then you have to delete this particular folder directory, that is rm-rf metascore_db. I'll show you. I think you see this one is the command which I used, rm-rf metascore_db, and then again execute the statement schema tool -init schema db type .b, then it will set up Hive. So these are some small hiccups while installing these tools for Hadoop. We have to forgo all these sorrows. There is no other. Now I just show you how to deal with Hive. Now just have to type Hive and press enter. This time Hive opens without any problems. Then I should be able to we should be able to make use of Hive infrastructure to create tables, delete tables, and do all those activities related to DDL, DML, SQL. Now you can go back to your, the place where I said there is some documentation. Just read all this. There are DML operations here. Sorry, DDL. First I have to show you DDL operations. You see create table, and you can see the tables. You can know the schema of your table. You can alter the properties of your table, like column names and again data. And then coming to DML, I think insert. There is a command called load, and you can insert is one of the. That is actually insert falls in SQL, not on DML. DML only deals with loading data in Hive, and SQL you can insert and also select data from, and there are so many other activities. I will not be covering all these activities in this video. I'll just show you how to create, manipulate the table and then drop that table from the Hive. That is what we'll be learning. So I'm just going to create, first to create a table you have to know what are the show databases basis, and now it will show you what are the databases that you have. I have only one database here, default. Now what I do, show, use. Now I cannot show tables because I don't know. Let me see. Show tables. Yeah, names one. Already created this. Drop names one. I don't want that. Okay. I think drop table names 1. I'm just doing it as if I'm in Python. Now okay, Control L will clear your terminal. Now show tables. You should not be having anything. Show databases. You can also create a database for that matter. We already have a database default. Now create database user DB. So let's create a database and see, I never did this. Show databases. Now yes, I have user DB. Now use user DB. In order to use user DB, I should use user DB. Now we are inside user DB. Now create table. Okay, table names. I make names, that's all, because I'm not going to deal with primary key and foreign key in this video. I'm just so names 1. I don't need names 1, names 2, something like that. So names, what are the columns? So ID, it is going to be integer. You can also write integer full name. Then name, I call it is string, and then that's all. So this is going to create the names. And now show tables. Okay, now we have names, and now describe names. Okay, and now it will show you the scheme of your table. I'm sorry, show you we have only 2 columns. One is ID, the other one is name. Now I want to replace name with fname, which means first name. So how are we going to do? There is a command alter. By the way, people use uppercase letters while writing to differentiate the SQL commands with database commands with user statements. The statements DML statements with user statements, but I am using all in one. Now alter table names. Okay, and then replace. What do you want to replace? Name, which is a string, with fname, and it is going to be string. Now this is how exception name UF thing. Don't we have string? Name string names replace column. I forgot. Think names replace columns. Yeah. Now describe names. Okay. Now we got the I think we got the replace. We are not replaced actually. Name thing we have to show the entire. No, I don't think we have to use the entire. Alter table names replace columns name fname. Okay. Alter, I think add column. Do we have add column? Okay. I inserted and alter table names replace columns ID string. Okay, ID in name string. Till I don't need to do this, but I am fname string. Now what I do with different. Okay, I call ID int fname string and then lname string. So we don't need to. So it just replaced with name and string without ID. That is what happened actually. So this is what is the right schema I feel. So I just have to use replace column, something like this. And now have types compared with existing columns. Okay, describe names. Yeah, name fname. No, I think something went wrong. We got fname execution error, return code 1 from Apache. You unable to alter the table. The following columns have types incompatible with the existing columns in the string. fname string, lname string. So the better way is to add a column. First alter table names. No, this is not how it is going. I'm sure I'm not going in right way. After table names, replace columns. I think I have columns name and if name, so we go for ID and shall I go for string f name string and l name string. Let's see. Yeah, describe names. Now what shall we do? Okay, now I am just going to add ID. Now ID is going to be alter table names, add columns, ID int. That's all. So let me see. Now describe names. Okay, yeah, I got ID. Okay, that's fine. Now so this is how we can just use the DML and as well DML commands, DDL commands. And now how to use SQL, that is insert. Actually DML insert falls under DML manipulation language, but I don't know, in Hive documentation it was shown like whatever it is. But how are we going to add values to this? Okay, now I dropped this table names because I did drop and then table names and then create table. This time I create ID as primary key so that I don't need to insert create table names, ID int and fname string and lname string, and then I make how are the primary key ID. And now don't forget to use this disable no validate. If you don't use this disable no validate, it's going to return error to you. Let me see. Yeah, describe. No, I made ID primary key because I don't want to give ID every time I input data. Names, and then yeah, I got ID int and fname last name. Now I'm going for the data manipulation, the commands related to data manipulation language, DML. Insert into names. Now I don't want to go for ID. I can also go for ID. Okay, let me put ID, fname, and then lname. Values going to be 1. Fname, I just make some dummy names, don't worry, and then press. Now what's going to happen? Just observe. The beauty of MapReduce is going to start now. Hive is going to start MapReduce parallel processing using MapReduce paradigm. We are going to watch the beauty of MapReduce, and after we finish this job, let me select all and let us go back and see if those values are there in the table or not. So for time being, I'm just going to pause this video. You see MapReduce started, map 0%, reduce 0%, and now map is going to get into action, and then soon after map finishes, then reduce is going to start. Yeah, map 100% stopped, and this is actually the beauty of MapReduce. And now Hive is literally using Hadoop MapReduce paradigm. This shows you that Hive is irrevocably connected, the invincible connection between the Hive as well as Hadoop. Now Hive did everything, and you see here success. the job was finished successfully. Now we can also go back to Hadoop file system and see what's there. Now for time being, what we do, we just use SQL command. It is HQL actually, not SQL. Select all from names. Okay, now we should be able to see the values 1MK, something like that. Now what I do, I just this time I insert without ID, because ID is a primary key, so this should be able to insert values without we being explicitly defining a value for ID. Now let's see what's going to happen. Now once again, MapReduce is going to start, and Hive is going to make use of MapReduce paradigm of Hadoop. Now map and reduce, both of them are going to start now, and we should be able to finish this job sooner or later. We have to wait for some time. So MapReduce started now, and so every time whenever we are going to put the because we are just going to manipulate some of the folders and tables on Hadoop distributed file system, DFS. So after we finish all this activity, we'll just go back to Hadoop and see are available from Hadoop distributed file system or not. Now you see the things are going on. I think we should be able to create our data successfully in success. So we did. So this time, without even defining a value for ID, we are able to select all from names. I don't know, I'm just doing this. Yeah, null. So it's not defining, it's just keeping it as null. Now you can take care of that later, but anyway I'm not going to. Now I've described you how to create the table, how to create a database, how to create a table, how to insert values manually. Okay, this is actually only the manual way of dealing with the tables. We have other ways. We can load data from the local file system. That I'll deal with that activity in my next video. Now what we do, we just drop the table. Okay, drop table names. Okay, I don't know, I'm just doing. Okay, it's not going to happen. Now what is the way of dropping the table? I think I misspelled the drop. Actually it was a droop. I don't know, sometimes I do this mistake. So drop table names will drop the tables. Now show tables, no tables at all. Now drop database user DB. Let's delete everything from our workspace. Now show databases. Yes. And now we are back to our original position. Now use default. I think I should not be having any tables here. Yeah, show tables. There won't be any tables here. There won't be any tables here. This is how you can just practice DDL, DML, SQL or HQL commands in Hive. So in my next video I'm going to show you how to upload the tables and verify them in the Hadoop distributed file system. This is for this video. Thanks guys for watching this video, and stay tuned for the new content. Please press like button and also subscribe to our video channel. Thanks a lot once again.